Hey guys, Tyler here with Weights and Redemption. Wanted to start this video off with a little story. A few years ago, I was working out of town and I decided to hit up the hotel weight room. I say weight room loosely. They had a variety of dumbbells, a little variety of dumbbells. They had a couple treadmills, but it was enough to get me a little something to get through the week until I could get back home into my gym. As I always say, it's better to do a little bit of something than all of nothing. A buddy I was working with, he asked if he could come with me. I was like, sure. I was working out arms that day, so he grabbed about a 30 or 35 pound dumbbell, which isn't a lot, but if you don't work out regularly, then it is. It's a decent amount of weight. And so he picks up this 30, and man, he starts going to town. He's rocking and rolling and he's pivoting his body and he's herking, jerking and slinging that dumbbell up. He's getting it up, but he is slinging it up. And I looked at him and I said, hey, I was like, why don't you drop weight a little bit, get a lighter dumbbell so you can put more emphasis on your arm. You know, you can put more emphasis on your bicep, which is what you're wanting to work. And he just looks at me, you know, and you could tell his ego was a little bruised, but he looks at me and he's like, well, thanks for calling me a little bitch. And I just said, well, I didn't call you a little bitch, dude. I just said, why don't you get a lighter dumbbell to put more emphasis on your arm? Because when you're swinging around like that, you're not really working out your bicep. And I think he stuck to his guns and he continued to, he insisted that he could wield the 30-pound dumbbell, and he did a couple more sets, and then he went back up to the room. And then he never worked out with me again while we were out of town. And whenever I would hit that weight room up, he would just leave me be. But anyway, what I'm getting at is holding true to form is so important, and you can't hold true to form if you're lifting a weight that's too heavy for you. And I've seen this a bunch, and it is very common with newbies, and it's very common with guys. And I get it, it's ego, and you know, I think if a guy goes into a gym for the first time or just lifting weights, you know, he feels like if he picks up a 15 or a 20-pound dumbbell, then he's going to look weak. But I guarantee you, you're not gonna look weak. You're gonna look like someone who is starting out, and you usually start out at a lower weight and gradually work yourself up. But I think these guys think that they're gonna look silly lifting a lighter weight when in actuality, they end up looking more silly grabbing a weight that they can't really handle and just doing all this crazy shit. And believe you me, it happens. The only thing I can really chalk it up to is I assume that a lot of dudes think that they're gonna look silly if they're wielding around a lightweight, or what they consider to be a lightweight, or what might be a lightweight compared to what somebody else is lifting down the way. What they don't take into consideration is they're not gonna look silly at all. If anybody sees them lifting a weight like that, it's gonna be obvious that, you know, oh, well, they're starting out, you know, and that's that. Nobody's gonna pay any mind to you. You're gonna draw more attention to yourself if you're rocking back and forth like a rocking chair, trying to wield around a weight that is obviously too heavy for you to properly handle. And what I mean by properly handle, you know, you want to weight, you know, let's use working out your arms, for example. It's the best one I can think of, but this can pertain to anything you're lifting, you know, whether it's leg day, chest day, shoulder day, tris, bis, back, whatever. But we're gonna focus on biceps. You want a weight where you can rep it, where you can be still, where you're not utilizing your whole body, where you're moving your body as least as possible, and you're putting a lot of emphasis solely on that bicep. And whether this is a 10-pound dumbbell or a 15-pound dumbbell or 20-pound dumbbell, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you're getting a sufficient pump and you're maintaining good form, you're maintaining good range of motion, and maintaining good form is also going to prevent you from being injured. As to where, I don't have a heavy dumbbell around here, but if you're just doing that stuff, or if you're only half repping it, halfway up and down, or you've got it all the way up, but you're only doing this. Now I get it, some guys do that every once in a while for specific reasons that I won't get into. But you can tell if somebody's doing it, they're just, because they can't fully bring their arms down and back up with the dumbbell. So, guys, I've said it once, I'll say it again. Leave your ego at the door, man. Leave your pride. If you are starting out, or if you just can't push that much weight, it doesn't matter, dude. Push the weight that is gonna be challenging, but that you can properly handle. And you're gonna make far more progress than grabbing a dumbbell that's 10 pounds, even 5 pounds too heavy than what it should be, where you've got to rock your whole body back and forth, where you're taking emphasis off of your whatever muscle you're wanting to work, because you're using momentum and you're using swinging and pivoting and just using your whole body to try and push the weight. So just remember, there's no shame in the game to dropping down weight, as long as you're getting a sufficient workout. That's what matters. It's your program. Don't worry about what the other guy's doing. Don't worry about looking silly. You're not gonna look silly. You'll only look silly if you're wheeling around weight that you can't handle. And always remember that a lot of times in the weightlifting game, less equals more.